Hello, friends. Crystal here, your Byron BF, and we are talking about intuition and ways to have a better, clearer channel and how it shows up in your bodies. So, we have talked about the different clairs, clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance, clairaudience. We've talked about auditing our life, our closets, our social medias, our actual relationships, our routines. Now, I want to talk about clearing and listening to your boundaries, understanding what your boundaries are, and then living in that alignment. So, first things first, I want to offer you an amazing book, Set Boundaries, Find Peace by Nedra Tawwab. She is an incredible Black therapist that truly shifted my perspective on what boundaries look like. I will definitely put them below. I'll put her book below, but I encourage you to start there. It's so much information about what that looks like in all different arenas of a boundary. People get really nervous when they hear boundary. They start thinking, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to make it uncomfortable. I don't want to, all these excuses. But I hate to tell you, it's already awkward, okay? Because you don't have the boundaries and you're already self-abandoning and feeling some sort of way. So boundaries aren't just for other people. Boundaries are for you and what best fits into your alignment. Life is already complicated and can be very difficult and hard and dense. So when you create spaces and places within yourself and around your environments that help you to easier navigate the ebbs and flows, it's a win-win. So with boundaries, it can look like so many different things for so many different people. There isn't a one size fits all. It's what aligns to your beliefs and how you want to show up in the world, how you want to feel ultimately. So getting really clear on what is it that I need? What is it that I want to live in? Not focusing on, I don't want people to treat me this and that way, because our subconscious, which is running most of our programming, does not process negations, meaning it doesn't hear the no's or don'ts. It just hears what you're focusing on. So if you say, I don't want to be treated this way, what your subconscious is going to process and bring more of is people treating you X way. So you focus on, I'm so grateful that I'm in relationships with those who are safe, that see me, that hold space for me, that have compassion for me, and I, them. I'm so grateful that I have created situations and spaces in my life that allow me to be my full self. I don't have to mask. I don't have to make myself small, but I can show up in my most authentic self, my most authentic way. These are what boundaries are for. And it also lets people decide, does this work for you, right? There's a saying that says, when people show you who they really are, believe them. It's not to say they're terrible people. It's just how they operate. And you get to decide, I don't like the way that they make me feel. I've allowed them to make me feel this way, or I don't like this or that. And I get to choose who I have in my life and in my spaces. So boundaries are huge in creating not just safety for yourself, but for your environments, so that you can show up in your authenticity. Also, boundaries help for you to create communities that feel very safe on a whole. It's not just you on your little island, but when you're in community with those, they know certain standards that are appropriate for you. If you have a boundary of wanting people to make sure they reach out and communicate with you, that would be something you want to articulate. So a boundary doesn't always have to be, I don't allow this and I allow this. It's basically saying, I show up as this person. And if you're in my space, I'm going to show up in this fullness. You don't have to like it, but you won't have access to me in this capacity. There's many different ways that you can enforce these boundaries. So I highly suggest you get the book. It's incredible. And understand that what you feel matters. What you say matters. You too are important. And we don't want to fall into the fawn response, which is part of our sympathetic nervous system. A lot of people hear the freeze, fight, flight, but it's also fawn response. And that's very much like code switching, masking, making sure you're okay, checking in at the cost of yourself, where you are self-abandoning. That is always a no-no. That is not a safe space. That is not a place where you can live That is not a space where you can fully live in your authenticity. So understanding that boundaries are beautiful, that no is a complete sentence, that you are safe to acknowledge how you feel and to be around those who think that that matters as well. So that is just another way to help to have more clarity within your intuition. And I will see you next week.